Yeah.
Yo, episode 82, Sneak This Podcast. George.
Yep.
Ryan.
Yep.
Greg. Back in the building. Got a special
Headphones
guest.
still don't work.
Special guest, second appearance on the Sneak This Podcast. We got Tony D.
What's going on, y'all, man?
Awesome.
Tony Digital bringing back another 4K visual. Back at it like a motherfucking crack at it. You already know what it is.
What's good? You've been seeming a little different lately on social media and videos and stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't say so much different. I mean, I just been looking at things differently, but I feel like I'm still myself at the end of the day. But I mean, that's what we're here to talk about.
Well,
I wanted to hear you guys' side of the story,
Well,
also speak from my own, and I'm pretty sure what other people that do YouTube, what they would agree upon.
Right, and we obviously give our opinions on a lot of things that YouTubers and just stuff that goes on in the sneaker community in general. And you've been one of the people who've been on our show early on. We interviewed you at Phoenix SneakerCon, and I'll admit there are a couple things you've done that we've definitely given you a hard time about. Is that an avalanche?
Oh, that's me. I'm putting ice in here. My bad. Go ahead.
I thought something happened. So there's a lot of things, we've obviously given YouTubers, whatever, a hard time about, and our perspective on certain situations we don't agree with. And we appreciate you actually hitting us up, wanting to come on and talk about it. That's all we look for is conversation. The only thing that we do have is our opinion. So that's the thing that we try to base everything off of. So real quick, watch your video that you put up today, your Straight Talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight Talk, and I'll admit, I actually kind of appreciated what you put up. It was straight to the point. It was basic. It wasn't anything. It kind of showed a different Tony D. That's how I'll put it. You said that you're the same person, just looking at things differently right now. So let's talk about just content in general.
Okay. My main thing is that I would like to ask is like, what when we met in Phoenix has been different from now? That's my main thing, because I mean, I feel like when we met in Phoenix, there wasn't much any type of questions or problems. Like when I came on and did the show in Phoenix and left, I got hit up by people like, "Yo, why'd you go on there? They talk shit." So I never even I was never asked none of that. Then why now?
So hold on, Greg, before you say something. I think the main issue is with people in general. Their opinion is not obviously the opinion is just an opinion. It's not the accurate truth. Like, we didn't create the show, the Sneak Diss, to come out here dissing people. We just talk about what we see and give our honest opinion on what's going on. So it's never been like we're gonna come here on purpose to diss somebody or like talk crazy about them or whatever. It's just literally an opinion of what's going on socially or pop culture or whatever in sneaker culture. So I mean, we're not here specifically to clown people, diss people, whatever the case may be. And there was a situation the other day with someone was trying to tell us like literally what our show name meant. Like, no, we made the show name up.
Right.
People not gonna be telling us what we made the show name up for. It's a play on words using the word sneak as sneakers, not out here to be hating. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I understand that. I understand that. I mean,
right now,
all I was saying, I just wanted to say that this to be simple was when we went to Arizona, the questions that will probably be asked today or spoken on was never asked back then. So have you guys changed your thought of how it was back then to now, or was you guys thinking the same thing then? That was my main thing.
No. So back then, gosh, how early was that? That was like
last year.
October?
No, March. It was March or April. March 18th
of last year.
Of this year?
This year.
So we had only been going on for about 4 months. When we had a discussion with you, so anybody who told you a lot of junk that we've said about you or something prior to us speaking to you, that's 100% false.
No. Well, I never heard nothing. This is the thing. There was nothing pinpointed. I've heard a couple things like in recent, my name. Yeah. But when you just speak of a broad term like sneaker YouTubers, it disassociates everybody. I just say all these sneaker podcasts are fucking fake. You guys are getting tangled into that. So you could feel like you can take it as it is. And that's why myself, like even with the, with Ryan, like the post, I spoke on that because we get associated under one label. Everybody's involved at that point.
And that's true. I mean, it's just kind of how it is with when you talk about one subject, everyone gets generalized in the entire thing. Now, prior to us talking about you, we did do an episode, I believe, about, I don't know if false idols was before we talked to Tony, and we talked about specific people, not including, I don't think that included you back then.
No, I didn't. It was only like the
younger kids, I think. I saw the thumbnail. I just saw the thumbnail. I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail.
And we talked about whether, I mean, basically
the biggest issue is grown men out there worshiping 15-year-olds or whatever the case may be, who are rich and really have no history in the sneaker culture whatsoever, and basically just bought their way in.
But I also,
correct?
Yeah, but I also think the other thing is that, Tony, like, with all these kids, like, it's almost like when other kids watch them, like, they think that that's real life.
Reality.
And they think that you can just go into Flight Club and spend $10,000 and that's a normal thing, or that your dad buys you a Ferrari, or, you know what I mean? Like, so, and it just, like, to me, it seemed like a bunch of young kids with a lot of money that just wanted attention. And that's fine.
But honestly, Ryan, like with that, I mean, this is what you got to think of it. Multiple. That's what I'm saying, and that's like I understand where you're coming from, but like it's like we're getting the blame for that. I mean, look at sneaker shopping complex. They go and spend even more money than we're spending in these videos. But then also on another thing, it's like a lot of people don't just look at a thing as reality. A lot of people know their reality and search through our videos to live through us.
But Tony,
and that's how life is in general. People watch reality TV show because they live it through what they see.
But here's the thing, and I think there's a big difference between people like you, I'll say Kais, Teddy for certain, Fomer. and Fomer, and Mike Rich and guys like that. Even other podcasters, and then there's a difference between like Blake Lindley and Blake Wynn.
Wait, Blake Linder and Blake Wynn. That's what you're trying to say.
Blake Linder and Blake Wynn, yeah. And there's a difference between them I feel like sometimes like they just want to be cool. Like they just want to like.
Yeah, but see, so here's the thing. You're going to get 3 different opinions on this show as well. My thing was never to blame the kids for doing what they did.
We never blamed the kids.
My thing was blaming grown men for worshiping and it's not even so much.
So wait, this is George speaking, right?
Yeah, this is George.
Yeah. Okay,
so
all right.
My thing is not even. It wasn't even. What's the win? It wasn't even win. It was money kicks.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's foolish money that family has. Ain't good for them. You know what I mean? That's not me hating on their money, anything like that. But people coming out and when I say people, I mean grown men worshiping a 15-year-old or whatever it is for buying his way into sneakers and never. I mean. Prior to, I don't even know how he got into it, but prior to when he got into it, you know, we're already grown. So adults coming and worshiping someone who's 15 just for being wealthy was the point that I was trying to make in that show. Simple may have had a different opinion. Greg may have had a different opinion, but that was my opinion.
Okay, so I just hope to hear, like, I understand that's like, I get this point. I'm probably one of the least people that do this is you guys have problems with things I do. I'm just pretty sure there's things I've done that you guys think, you know, like Ryan told me, and we'll touch on that later. But I want you guys to tell, like, I want you guys, even if it isn't associated with me with things you see that's wrong, and I know these guys personally, so I could probably give you a good understanding of why these things are done. But like you said, grown men lining up. I never seen it happen. I saw it happen in London one time with Money Kicks, and I'm gonna tell you this: when Money Kicks had the line of grown men. That it was because he brought out like a heavyweight champion boxer, and once the boxer left, the crowd died down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's it. Usually Money Kicks has people around him like Fat Joe. He has these other people that are not even associated fully. Well, Fat Joe is kind of in sneakers, but
right
around him, so that draws these crowds. You know what I'm saying? So you see it that way, but I mean, in all honesty, when the boxer went away, it died down. Like that's just how I saw it, honestly.
So then George gave his point. This is Greg. So my whole thing was, I'm talking about worship. I'm talking men and kids. I personally, I'm the only one on the show who has kids. I have 3 kids. I didn't appreciate, and I think it probably went downhill for me at SneakerCon Bay Area. Now, going back to when we first talked to you, when I first talked to you, I had only seen about 2 or 3 of your videos. I wasn't that familiar with you as I think Ryan might have been. So me conversating with you was completely organic. I didn't have anything bad to say about you. And even at the time, I didn't have anything, not bad, I didn't have anything to question about you or Kais or anybody else. That was my perspective. Talking to you, and this is genuinely, and I don't know how you feel about us. This is genuinely, we talk about how we like you. We do like you. Now, once we conversated, I started to watch your videos. I only watched about 5, 6 different YouTubers, Mike Rich, you, a few people, and I started watching yours, and they're progressing, and I'm going to tell you, when, I don't know which one was before, whether it was Dr. John Geiger.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, Ryan told me. So the doctor video.
Right.
Okay,
I don't know if it was that. Which one happened first? That one or the Kool-Aid, where I just said, where is Tony going with this? And I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, this is absolutely corny and crazy, and I don't understand where he's going for it. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm just explaining to you, that's why at that point when we first talked to you, I didn't have any type of questions like that, because that wasn't anything that was even on my mind at that time. Ryan knew who you were. I knew you from a few videos, and that was it. It was interesting to get to know you, and the stuff that you said was actual substance, content. People could take it and run with it, do what you got to do. It was a great talk, one of our best talks, and George wasn't at that one at that time. Great talks. Now, fast forwarded, it seems like between that time, unless we just been paying more attention to it, that sneaker YouTubers have just like risen out of the phoenix, just come out of the ground.
So have sneaker podcasts.
And sneaker podcasts have just come out of nowhere. And it's just like now this jumble of what everyone likes to say, content with a lot of without substance. That's how I look at it. When you did your video today and you're talking about different content and branching out, that's what I want to know from you. Just the first question, do you feel like a lot of stuff you've been putting out lately, which you've said to yourself has been obviously repetitive, do you feel it's content still? Or is it just a repetitive thing that you just now got into?
It's content. What I feel like it is, though, is the same thing that Casey Neistat had a problem with when he made his video about doing vlogs every day, where it got so simple and it got so like computerized. You know what I'm saying? Wake up, video of the day. I ain't got shit to do. Let me go down to Lenox Mall and just point my camera and shoot. And point the camera, go shoot, come back home, edit. There's my video for the day. And then that's the amount of views. You know what I'm saying? It got to that point where, unboxings today. Okay, unboxing. Then it's like, review. So like my day was like a scheduled job.
Right.
And that's where it got to. And I'm not saying like tomorrow is just going to wake up and go. I got to sit back and I'm going to still put out my content and do the best I can, but at the same time to start grabbing different things out the tree, different apples and oranges. Like I got to grab from different fruits. I was just grabbing apples the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And if it was just me doing it, if it was just me, Bull Kais doing it, or if it's me, Bull Kais, Ray, or 4 or 5 people doing it, it's fine. But when it's like 15 people all chasing the same thing and substance and content, it's gonna get bad. Yeah. So I feel like it got to the point where it was just so crazy, and then as you said, people risen up. It became to a point where it was easier to gain that huge fan base faster. You know what I'm saying? Like people like Bull, they even Kais, 10 years in the game, but then you got the new guys like Blake Leonard, who pop up and shot up in a year. They already quarter way to 1 million. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this, because that's actually a question I was going to ask you a few minutes ago. Is for you guys that actually put the work in and like built what you have from the ground up, and this is your life, like this is your livelihood, this is what you rely on to pay your bills. So does it bother you at all that there's these 2 kids who literally overnight, through almost like seemingly no effort at all compared to what you guys had to put in, are at the same level that you are? Does that bother any of you guys at all?
Nah, because one for all, I've felt the hatred and the hate from people that were older than me that were not happy that I came up out of nowhere, or I grew. That was one part. The other part is those kids blow up overnight. That's fine. I love the process that I had to go through. See, there's something that a lot of people don't understand, and we're always related to like with rap. Back in the day, you had these rappers who would come, back the first single drop, they had this music video shot. They have a, look at Mace, bad, 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 bad boy. Look like it's $1 million worth of episode. Yeah. And then they fall off and they start doing videos again, and they in their mama house recording, and it's just the quality and everything's dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With me, it's like if you compare it to a rapper, I was started from nothing on a small camera. Then I got to a bigger camera. I worked my way up. The process, the growth is there. I can actually speak like my story to somebody. I have a story that I can speak on, and there's nothing wrong with these. I applaud them for being able to get where they're at, but I rather have a story than be overnight, success.
Yeah.
So then when you tweet stuff out like there needs to be a big podcast episode where all the YouTubers could get together and basically, I guess, hash it out.
Yeah.
What's to hash out if there doesn't seem to be an issue with anything or anybody? Like I find it hard to believe that everybody just loves everybody.
Greg, are you watching the videos lately? Damn D dropped the video going in at Sneakerhead and Bay.
Goofy though.
Yeah, but honestly, we think a lot of that stuff stemmed from some of the stuff we did. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of credit we're not, and credit's probably the wrong word because I don't want to use the word credit when you're trying to be negative about something, but a lot of that stuff didn't start until we said something about it, and then people ran with it on social media. So,
what part? What are you talking about?
Any of that stuff criticizing any shootubers.
Now, this is the thing. You guys are always criticized in comments and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when I say we take a tongue lashing and a bashing and a beating on social media about what we say about some YouTubers and things like that, it is brutal. All right. When we started talking about the ridiculous nonsense Kais was doing and stuff like that, and like how it just wasn't of the culture and stuff that happened at Bay, I'm talking a beating. All right. I've been called every single name that you could think of. Okay. If I say anything bad about Kais, it's like talking about Jesus Christ himself. All right. Now, I'm not trying to say that we're the innovators of talking junk about YouTubers. You guys have comments. Your guys' comments are 50% negative and 50% positive. But it seems like that all of a sudden now it's become the popular thing to go at YouTubers. Like everybody. YouTubers are going at YouTubers. Random people are going at YouTubers. Podcasts are going at YouTubers. Everyone's going at YouTubers now.
Yeah, and I would love to know what in particular is it to go about. Is it about the culture that we like? I don't know. I feel like people put us up there like we're the reason why the culture. When you look at everything and you step back and look at everything from like a long step back distance. sneakers itself is going through something, and a lot of people try to put the blame on YouTubers like they're the catalyst to it. I don't really know.
That's nonsense.
Well, I don't think so. So
we don't think that.
Let me take a step back real quick. First of all, we appreciate you coming on the show because the point I'm going to make right now is one person literally lied about not being invited on the show, and a lot of folks won't even come on the show. So we appreciate it. So the point that I want to make is the issue that we had with different people. All the issues are different. Like the problem we had with Kais is different from what we talked about with you. Like Greg said, we don't have a problem with you personally. You were super cool when you did the interview before. Kais straight up lied about not being invited on our show and said he was never invited. That's a flat out lie. He was invited before any of this stuff ever started and still won't mention our podcast name when he talks about podcasts are talking crazy about me. So that's a different issue than, what we talked about with you with just like the Kool-Aid video and the doctor video. And then also,
the thing is, I would, at the end of the day, it don't matter who was Kais or Sneakerhead and Bay or anybody. I just wanted to know what was the problems with like everybody in general, so I can hear those things and the things that those little things. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying I can answer on their behalf, but
right.
I can. I would.
Well, that's
know
what I'm saying.
I would know the answer they would give you most likely.
It's different for every person. You know what I mean? Like if we've talked about someone in the past, it's a different issue for every person. So there's not one issue that, at least in our opinion, that we can mention. Now, other people, Damn D, whoever else, I saw he was getting on Kais about like the rap he put on his truck or something like that. We have no opinion on that.
I don't care about that.
We don't care about that.
So I'll give you a couple opinions of mine of people and why it bothers me. when.
Oh, real quick. Now, what Ryan's gonna say is, and I don't want to speak for Ryan. He's gonna give his opinions about stuff that's done. Doesn't mean he doesn't like them or we don't like them.
No. Good disclaimer. For instance, 2J's Kicks sat down with us.
That was gonna be my other example.
Sat down with us.
Thank you for bringing that up.
And told us how humble of a person he is.
JC from Urban Necessities.
How grateful he is, and all all these things.
Love that conversation.
But I don't. And
that interview is still up. By the way.
That interview is still up, and I love that conversation. And he seemed like an amazing dude. But then the content that he puts out, coming out of the bank, holding like $50,000 up to his ear,
the money
pretending
phone.
to call his wife to ask if she wants McDonald's. Like that to me isn't the actions of a humble, grateful,
the Supreme
person.
LV stuff, everything you added up.
And so that's my problem. And I'm not saying, and I've said this about you. You sat down with us, and my only question to you after that was, like I could tell that you meant what you said about you take the fact that you have a platform to influence and to touch people's lives and to set an example. And I could tell that that means a lot to you. Like that really does. So my question to you after the Kool-Aid video was, number one, like what did it have to do with sneakers? And number two, like what did it have to do with influencing or
what was the point?
Yeah, that was all. Like what was the point? Like what
Well, well, first of all, if you watch you probably have not watched my channel, but like way back in the beginning, I've always done like characters and just had fun with skits and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's just what I do. I'm a funny guy at the end of the day. Like my personality is what got me here, not just the sneakers.
Yeah,
and that's why like you take the sneakers away, like I would still get a certain amount of views just because people want to see what I'm doing, just because of that. Like, and a lot of people that like who came up in the beginning when I was first watching YouTube, it was just about the sneakers. And I'm not talking about taking shots at anybody in particular, but a good example, Scoop. You never see Scoop's face. You just see the shoes he shows in front of you. So if the shoes died, then the whole channel dies. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to be about me and the sneakers and my thoughts, my opinion. Like that's just how it was. And people gravitated to the person I was. And that's why I've always been funny. And at the same time, I went to Rejuvenator and saw that all these videos is, hi, how you doing today? I'm going to show you how to clean these sneakers. Step one, like that typical bullshit.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something different and make it funny. And guess what? It worked. You know what I'm saying? It got views. It's not like, me cleaning a pair of sneakers isn't going to cure the culture or anything else. What it's going to do is going to give people a good laugh. And at the end of the day, it's gonna show them that this is still a good product because at the end of the day, the video cleaned the shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
We know Steve, Rejuvenator, we know all of them. Like they've been on the show plenty of times. Now, like you said, I want to state that I have never ever said or implicated that you guys are ruining the culture. That's impossible.
Or that you guys yourselves as people are bad people. Like we don't think you're bad people. Like I don't think Kais is a bad person. No, I don't think anybody's but
corny moments.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But my thing is what's the word corny? Like what's the definition to that of you? Like lame? Like it's a lame thing to do?
I guess it's more of like a corny is like pointless, lame. Like I'm gonna tell you, the getting in the Kool-Aid thing, I'm sorry, that did something to me and I don't even know why. Like it was so weird and unnecessary.
Was it?
And considering the conversations we had with you, I was like, why on earth is he doing this? Like, it just didn't resonate to sneaker culture. Now, if your entire video would have just been strictly, we're just getting in Kool-Aid, I didn't get it. And maybe, like we've said, it's not for us, but it's constantly out there. And people love to tell us, just ignore it. It's out
well,
there.
You do know that I made a video about it being like the Kool-Aid thing, and then I think it's two different videos. But the one is me dipping the shoe in there. I think it was like a Kool-Aid bathtub challenge, and instead I said, you know what? Let's try the product itself, dipping it in Kool-Aid. So what point here is the corny part? Me getting in the Kool-Aid or me dipping the shoes in there?
Hold on
getting
a second.
Getting in it and drinking it.
Well, hold on a second. Let's just talk about in general just attention with Boonk and who all these other cats like. Do you not have a problem with what some of these cats do just to do it?
I mean, yeah, but that's a difference when you're doing it to people, stealing people's phones and stuff. I mean, I'm just doing something in the space of my own house for the hell, just for people to laugh. It's not like I'm
right. No, I'm not
degrading myself for views.
I didn't mean it like in a malicious way. Like, obviously, them dudes are clowns. But I'm just saying, like, obviously, an issue today on social media is just what Greg posts all the time. I don't know if you want to say it. What you call
what?
People seeking attention. You posted it on 1,000,000 times. It's the biggest drug in the world right now.
Oh, yeah, just attention in general. And I feel like that wasn't. Now, obviously, we're not trying to tell you what to do. And I don't hope you don't think like we're trying to tell you shouldn't do that. You can do whatever you want. But when we say something is a certain way, I have no problem explaining it or talking about it. And I'm glad people ask. Like, you're asking why that's corny to us. Now, we're not your core audience, I don't think. We're just not that. No, and I feel like you doing that was strictly for attention, or I don't know. I want you to explain it to me.
The thing I don't get is that's what YouTube is about. It's about the attention of your viewers and your subscribers. That's
right.
That's what I'm saying. And the difference is, like I stated, it's not like I'm going out in public diving into like a river or some shit like where I'm trying to get attention of multiple people. All these people that you saying, like that George was saying or whatever, you know, those people are doing stuff in public places,
right? Running
into stores or whatever. Now you guys are saying, you know, I was ending off with the public thing. I mean, the end of the game is like I'm not the type of guy who really like is gonna care like if something's cool or if it's lame to another man's eyes. But at the same time, that's why I'm just asking like, what defines it as corny, because it's like I would never call what somebody else is doing for their own fan base corny, just because I don't know, it was just something I wanted to know.
So okay. Part of it is probably just being older. So I'm gonna just say that's probably part of it, because I'm an old man.
I think you're too old for that. That's how I'll put it as well.
Well, I don't know how old Tony
you're too old for that.
I don't know how old Tony is.
Let me say something. If I was an actor in a movie and I did that,
that's different.
How's it different?
I mean, that's you're acting in a movie. I mean, I don't know. I guess you get paid from YouTube, so I guess I'm assuming you do. Okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna count anybody's pockets, but I'm assuming you get paid from YouTube. So I guess if you want to take it at the point of acting, I'm not trying to like convince you.
I know, but I'm just asking. I mean, look, wasn't I acting as a doctor? I'm myself, but at the same time, I'm a character in myself. Like that's right. That's what I'm saying. So like. At the time, like, will I go take a shower and will I make a vlog? Like, what's going on, guys? Yeah, man, I'm gonna take a shower real quick,
right.
And then hop in a bathtub of Kool-Aid. No, but if I'm having a fun video where I'm acting or portraying something, right, then I'm gonna act stupid. Like I just did a video smoking Black and Mild with the yak, and I'm in a suit looking like a fool, but it's me playing. That's me. And at the end of the day, you can look at you got dudes dressing up like women. But they getting that check.
Yes. Okay. Now. What you just told us right now, like I said, I am not trying to convince you to believe what we're saying at all. I'm telling you the opinion of it that we thought when we saw it. Now, you explaining it how it was that you're just acting because technically you do get paid, that's a very good point. And I'll say, you know what? Okay, I'm fine with that. I can accept that and say, you know what? It might not be for me, but his purpose for that is he gets paid to do it.
Yeah, but I still got another question about that.
But don't make it seem as if like that's the reason why I get paid to do it. At the same time, it's a balance between getting paid.
It's a part.
And getting a growth in this. Like at the end of the day, if somebody's laughing, I'm having a good time. Right. They're laughing at me, but I want them to laugh at me. It's not like they're laughing at me where it's an embarrassment.
No, yeah. So I guess my thing is back to the attention issue. So I understand you're talking about acting and whatnot, but is literally the only reason that you were doing it just to get views and clicks and likes? Like, is that the only reason?
The reason why I did it is the same reason why I'm in the situation I am in now. This is George speaking, right?
Yeah.
George, I can just sit here every single day and give you a basic review and vlog, you know what I'm saying? Or I can switch it up and do something different. Am I gonna just do a typical rejuvenator spray and show you it pouring over like the same ones you've been seeing multiple times, or am I gonna act a little crazy and stupid with it to change it up and make it unique?
Right.
I'm not judging you. I'm just asking. Well, no, I'm asking.
That's the thought process that went in my head. I can go with this generic rejuvenator spray video and me, pouring some Coca-Cola on it or some ketchup and then wiping it off and saying "ta-da," or I can go extreme, make a bathtub full of Kool-Aid. Do the acting like I did on the first video that all these people loved, over almost 2 million views now, and do it again. And then, at the end, it was like, why not do something just stupid?
Right.
it is what it is.
And I am fine with accepting that.
But I'm saying the goal was basically to just have views.
That's his goal as a YouTuber.
The goal was to give something different than what's the typical thing. Views is also a thing. George, you saying, is it all about the views?
No. I think you answered the question. It's just something that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not for me. I'm an old man. It's not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing with you guys. Is it all about the listeners? Like, yeah, in some aspects, but at the same time, you want growth. You want people to tune in. You're gonna have to do it different. You can't just sit there and talk about different things.
To a certain point with me, yes, but like I said, I'm old. It's different. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about any of that stuff. It would be nice to have like a supplementary income to supplement what I make as my regular job. But I didn't start doing this to become famous. Like, we just did this, or at least in my opinion, I did this because we just like having fun sitting here recording. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a famous person.
We did it as an excuse to get together one day a week and drink beers and talk shit.
So that might be a lame excuse, but literally that's a true answer from me as an old man.
What you're saying, I have no problem with accepting my opinion on it as, that's just my opinion, and what you told us, I can accept that. I'm fine with it. Like, I get it now. Like, I'm fine with it. I get it. I need to realize that it's just not for me, and that you're doing it for another purpose of doing something different. We've talked about sneaker cleaning videos all the time. I swear, if I see another person squirt chocolate and ketchup on a sneaker and clean it off, because I'm sorry, we're too old. Nobody's squirting ketchup on their shoes and chocolate and cleaning it off. So you're doing something a little different to provide entertainment. I get it 100%, and I am willing to accept that, and I'm glad you came on here and talked about that. Now, actions, which I'm going to assume that you are fine with and defend based on your comments on our post that we made, you're fine with people.
Well, wait, if you go on to the next topic, let me ask him something else first. You talking about the signing foreheads, right?
Right.
All right, let me ask him one more thing.
Hold on. Guys. I know my thing's probably delaying right now because I'm walking to the front gate, but I can hear you. If I delay responding, I'm just letting you know.
No, you're good. Right. So the question I just want to ask is, was there ever any thought to, like, with the Kool-Aid thing or with the doctor thing, to doing maybe something for charity where you're, you know what I mean? There's an actual good cause you're doing a comedic video for?
You mean like some other type of video?
Yeah, like a new
thing. Those things kind of just pop up randomly for me. We sit here, a lot of us sit here and basically sit and think all day about what to do, and then it not work, but then wake up one day and say, I want to do this, and it get 1 million views. Like, that video I just kind of thought about what I wanted to do, but it was all, just organic. What's it called, where you just, the comedian stands up and just talks. It happens a lot when they're acting, when stuff just comes out.
Yeah.
Improv.
There you go.
Improv. Yeah, improv. It was just improv, and it got me the most amount of views on the channel.
Right. And
man,
you good?
Yeah. I'm trying to find this DoorDash.
So
now the DoorDash lady's in the what is going on, man? This lady's crazy, bro.
You're having some problems.
Yeah, you having some problems out there.
Yeah, man. God damn.
It's gotta be cold as hell outside too right now, right?
Bro, I'm trying to find this lady to get my food. I told her I'm coming to the gate because she can't get in the gate.
So
now she probably in the front.
So going to another topic.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna base this off of what I've seen you comment on our page before. You are perfectly fine with these are adult men signing the faces of children.
No, I'm not with that. And if you did read the comments, you would have known that.
Yeah, but you said NASCAR people have been signing titties forever.
Yes, but you can go read up above that too. What I said about that was stupid as fuck. Signing a face of a kid. I did state that after.
Okay.
I did state that after, but I said that it was stupid. It was stupid when Kais did it. I would never do that. I don't like it. It looks bad. I told Kais it wasn't a good idea. After seeing it, I didn't see it happen.
Right.
I saw a picture, and then I saw that picture on your page. And what I didn't like was that, like, you guys a lot of the times will sit here and say, you know, like you'll see him like, yeah, Blake Lynn's a good guy. He does this and that, does this and that, this and that. But and then just go in after that, straight just going in, talking about this person, you know. But you'll use that. It's kind of like that stuff, that shit where people was like all the time, like, man, I like you a lot, but, and then you just tell them why. But like it's like you throw that in there to make it seem like you're not hating or have no problem with the person. And that's what I was saying.
Selling his collection or whatever for the Vegas thing is something that should be applauded, no matter who does that. That's something.
But why is that never like? Why can't you post?
We did
those pictures on Instagram.
I didn't post the pictures, but we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I never seen a picture posted about it or nothing. Like, all I see on the picture, on the pictures is this stuff. Like, I've seen the John Geiger thing. It's nothing really. It's just nothing very ever positive. You know what I'm saying? And I can be wrong about picking and choosing, because it happens to us all the time, where people just pick and choose on us as well.
Yeah.
But,
see, and that's one thing that bothered me about what Kai said on when he was talking on the Sneaker Box podcast, and he only gets tagged or attention brought to him if we say something negative about him, and I think the same goes with you or anybody else. But we have given praise to every YouTuber in their own right for their content, for their editing, for their production, for a lot. Like, so for him to say that we only ever take shots at him, like, is untrue, because there's a lot of other things that we've said about him in a very positive manner. But there's a good and bad in everybody, and there's like good content and there's shitty content and everything. Like you said, like, you're trying to do a video a day. Some of your videos aren't going to be what other ones are. Some of them might suck. Some of them might be boring. Some of them might be corny. Some of them might be great. You can't hit every single day.
Now, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so now,
yeah, I'm here.
I'm going to say this, and this is because this is just me as a person growing, doing the podcast, and just me as a person. I'll admit that sometimes I get really wrapped up and upset and stuff that might just be unnecessary and maybe a little overboard. I'll admit that. Now, I have posted positive things before. I posted positive things about JC Urban Necessities when he had that story about the kid who passed away or was sick or something. I posted that on our page, and I think, and I'll say this about myself, I have no problem talking about myself. I sometimes get wrapped up in the thought to make sure that everyone knows that we have no problem talking about the stuff or posting the stuff that people talk to with each other. Like, when we talk about this stuff, like, people think that we're calculated. We're trying to find bad stuff. No, I'm not trying to find bad things. The secret to podcasting is 80% of it is stuff that the world does, and the rest of the 20% of it is stuff that we come up with and just having the chemistry and personality to discuss it. So you are right to an aspect of, like, you know what? If I'm at the point to where I'm going to post something negative that Blake Wynn did, then I should post a picture to do it, because the YouTube following and social media will get a lot of views for it versus, like, depending on somebody going on to hear it. I'll agree with you with that. And as myself, I'm going to start posting more things like that does happen. So I take that from you, and you're 100% right on that. Now,
I just feel like honestly, like, it's only like it's only if only things are being shown that is negative, then there's no way hell that you know that people are going to eventually be like, YouTubers, sneaker YouTubers are not that bad. I mean, because honestly, it's been this negative stuff for forever now. It's just getting bigger and bigger with it, though. I mean, and it's not. I don't know. I just feel like it's just gotten to the point where it's just everybody is.
And that's
trying to find something.
The thing that I have with, like, the word negative is, like, I guess it's negative. It's how I honestly feel when I give my opinion. Like, I come here to tell how I feel, and what we discuss when we're not on the show, I would feel ridiculous. And I've heard this from other people that these conversations take place, that everybody's talking bad about everybody over here, but then when they get on their shows, when they get on the camera, they don't say this stuff. That's what I'm getting. And I can tell you this as well. I get a lot of DMs from people that I see hang around you guys, people that are like at SneakerCon in that realm, not just people that go, DM us and say, you know, hey, I got a brand and stuff that I got to protect, but man, you're 100% right about this person. Oh, that person is so this in person, all the time. And
I mean,
and I'm sure you know it. I'm sure you know people around you guys talk about you guys and, you know, stuff like that.
I mean, all that bugs me is like everybody's saying like that this shit is fucked up, this is that, but nobody offers any solution. And the main thing is, and I don't even like to talk like a big bad guy, right. But it's just the point where it gets irritated. It's like if you don't have a solution, then just shut the fuck up. If you have a solution, bring it to the table and let's make it happen. I'm all about making things right and working, but there's so many people that want to just yap in the back. Just say you're like, if somebody has a problem, like you guys had a problem with certain things, you speak on it. But like, it's so many of these people that I hear these stories. Yeah, there's a lot of people that's in your circle, or there's people that know you, this and that. But like, nobody wants to step up and say, Tony, it's me, bro. I have a fucking problem with what you guys are doing, or with it. And it's like either that or just start pinpointing people out. Don't. And I know I'm going on a broad aspect, right. But it's just like people. It's just like people saying something like, "Man, black people are this and that." It's not all black people. It's not all white people. It's certain people.
Right.
People are just targeting a massive group, and it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us now. It's a lot. It's not like how it used to be. So when you say the word YouTuber or sneaker YouTuber, you're associating everybody, whether or not you use the word big YouTuber, you're associating a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like people need to be direct about who they have a problem with.
Right, and you know we do that. But when we say we're going to talk about Kais today, we talk about what he did. Him dressing up a woman, talking about you ain't got no supreme dick. I'm sorry, man. Nah, man. No, nah. That ain't happening.
I'm not talking about you guys.
I know that.
I'm not talking about you.
No, I know you're not. I'm saying that that's what we do, but we get a lot of flack for doing it. Like, I don't understand why everyone, not you, but people give us a hard time for saying how we feel. It's like equivalent to like, you know, I was like this girl. I'm not gonna say her name. I would say it, but I don't know. She'll say I'm stupid for saying her name, and she'll say I'm stupid for not saying it. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What girl?
So she called me every single name in the book because I had a little issue with another person, which was so stupid. It was so dumb. Now she will talk junk about us because we, if you want to say, talk junk about other people. But then I'll look and she'll post the most hate, like talking about Kevin Durant. He's a douchebag snake. I don't understand what's the difference of us bringing it to the forefront, showing our faces, talking about these specific people versus people talking about people that they don't know. It seems like people have a problem with people talking about people that you can touch. We can go see Tony D at a sneaker con. It seems like everyone's okay with talking junk about athletes and the president and everybody else from afar. But if you talk bad about somebody that you have the opportunity to reach and touch, you're insane, you're monsters, you're negative, you're this and that. But then they'll go on a rant about Trump, rant about Durant, rant about the Cavs, LeBron, they hate LeBron, blah, 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 blah. But let me say something about them to their face, or not even to their face, just in public or social media. It's insane. You're monsters. I hate you. All right. Like,
I can't speak on that behalf because I don't see the hate that comes there. But what I can say is that one thing is that you guys, you know, you've spoken on false idols and this and that. But in a lot of the podcasts you have, or in a good amount, you touch up on sneaker YouTubers in those podcasts. So like, you're only fueling that fire of these, like, them making us more than what we are. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at us as some big time celebrities or something. I mean, I have a nice following, but I haven't taken that step yet where I don't even call people my fans. I call them myself, my supporters.
Right.
Which is what we try. But by you guys, like, every other video talking about Kais or talking about,
nah, it's not every other video.
It's rare.
Well, it's a good amount.
It's
there's
enough.
Thumbnails with Kais in it, and there's thumbnails with
You're right.
Blake Wynn, and I mean, it's you know what I'm saying. Like at a certain point, you start you're helping fuel that, you know, because honestly, with me, people that don't matter to me, that people that I don't find like I don't think they live up to what other people say about them, I don't make videos or talk about it. I just ignore that shit. There's plenty of people who think they're the shit, but to me, they're just nobodies, or what they do is corny, so I don't even pay them any mind. And I feel like there's bigger news than sneaker YouTubers and sneakers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you are right, but we stay away from like political topics and stuff like that anyways. I mean, we're basically talking about sneakers, pop culture, sports. If something like that happens in a sneaker culture realm, whatever, we're going to talk about it. I mean, that's the bottom line. That doesn't mean we're talking about it negative. And it just means we're giving our own opinion.
And I mean, let's be honest, like in the past 3-4 years, you still there?
Nah,
phone cut off.
I think he'll call back or something. Anyways, I don't know if he's coming back or what, but
we could text him or whatever, but I don't know.
I mean, I think the conversation thus far, or as of right now, has been pretty good. I
appreciate Tony coming on. Obviously, certain people who are arguing with us this week will not be coming on because they're scared to. So
it's like I said, conversation. Every single person in the community, I don't care if you got 1 follower, 0 followers, or 1 billion followers. You can come on here and talk sneakers and hang out. Like, we have no issue with
I don't have a personal problem with anyone we've dealt with as a human being because I don't know any of them. So, you know, people talk crazy on social media or whatever. Feel free to come on the show. We can talk it out. If you don't want to talk it out, I mean, then you aren't bothering with our show. I don't bother with your show either. So,
all right. Like I said, we appreciate you coming on, talking to us. It's fine. And like, I don't know how you feel about us. I don't even know if you care about us. And I know that it
doesn't matter because he cares enough to come on the show. So that's enough.
And I know you might think it might be a little disingenuous to say like, hey, we like this guy, you know, but this happens. I mean, that's just kind of, it is what it is. I can tell you who I actually don't like but it's not you. It's not anybody. It's just, hey, that's the type of stuff that right now is kind of leading the culture, and maybe we do add fuel to what a lot of other people already think. But like I said, conversation, and like I said, the things that you just said, some of the stuff changed my opinions a little bit. I feel like, oh, okay, like that's fine. He came over here and conversed about it, and you know, I'm gonna do my best to highlight some more of that positive stuff on our social media versus just the stuff that we find ridiculous.
But I have one more question.
I mean, I can tell you that. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I can't help it at the same time. But drama sells, and I mean, that's what it is. I mean, my car got broken into, and it got 200,000 views. So I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's going to get to the point where I don't know. I mean, what happened? You know, people are just constantly going at all the shit that we do, and then when we're no longer there, what else are they going to move to? You know what I'm saying? Who else? I mean. I don't know. We'll see when it gets to that point, though.
All right.
But I have one more question before you go eat your Ethiopian food. Is that what you're eating?
Yeah.
Did you write the entire No Line at Your Booth song, or did the other people actually write their parts?
I wrote my part only.
You wrote your part only?
Yeah.
I figured you wrote the whole thing.
Nah. It would have been better if I would have wrote the whole thing.
Would have been better.
That's Simple's favorite song, by the way. It's
a catchy tune.
History.
It's a catchy tune.
But I also got a bone to pick with you about that, but we'll save that for another show.
Oh man, we should have talked about it today, man.
I didn't even think about it until he just brought it up.
We can talk about it real quick.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I mean it's not a specific thing. Just the fact that like, to me it seems like more humble brag or rubbing it in or whatever you want to call it, and just. I guess the fact that that Kais is even involved in hip hop world to me is a joke, but
who was it directed at?
It's probably not a bone to pick with Tony, to be honest. Just a bone to pick in general.
This is the thing. That video and that song is sort of like what you just kind of said about us. It's like, hey man, we're just talking. This is fun. But there's a little something behind, like there's no line at your booth. There's a little something in talking to somebody. It's like, but we're just joking, fam. We're just joking, guys. We're just doing fun. And when we say, hey, man, we really like you, but it's sort of the same realm.
But the thing about that whole song, though, is that during the time and even now, YouTube was all about diss tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was all about diss tracks. That's what it was. So we was in LA and we said, let's make a song. We got the time, fuck it, let's make a song. So we went in the booth and we just talked about other YouTubers. I mean, honestly, like if people got hurt about it, it's a hit dog will holler at the end of the day with that. You know what I'm saying? If they really took it personally, then it is what it is. I mean, I never, but I mean, I can only say that.
Well, hold on. So who did take it personally? Because I'm actually kind of curious.
Go look at the videos of who reacted to it. Some people
they did? Oh, okay. All right.
But isn't it?
I had no idea.
Isn't it funny though? Like, because we've said stuff like it as a general thing, like about pictures that we thought were corny or whatever. Isn't it funny, like how many people think it's directed directly at them? It's like, well, there can't be 100 of you that think it was directed directly at you.
See, that's the thing. If you think it was directed towards you, it was directed towards you.
But
I don't care.
The thing is, like, I just what the difference is here. Than what I said, because I don't want it to sound contradicting, but it's like we were talking about all sneaker. I'm saying that we were talking about all sneaker YouTubers. Yeah. Where when you say sneaker YouTubers, you might not be talking about. You might be talking about in particular. Yeah. So I was speaking on basically everything everybody has ever done. Even me, like I'm joining myself. I don't always have a line in my booth. No. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going at myself a little bit. Like I mean, I've done giveaways. I've done my views are getting low. You know what I'm saying? Like shit.
I have noticed that like some people's views have gone down.
Well, wait, hold on. This is a good segue to a better question then. So why do you think that Kais has the biggest following right now then?
Well, he doesn't. Money Kicks is about to beat Kais, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, all right.
He doesn't even count. Like, I can't.
Hey, man.
I don't, man. That little. I'm sorry, bro. He don't count, bro. That's just, it's not fair.
Kais brought YouTube to sneaker YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Beforehand, it was not really much. It was just a typical, hi, there's this shoe, the quality of this leather. It was like very robotic. And, even at that time, I was doing my thing as a doing personality and type of stuff like that. Right. But when he came, he brought the vlog to it. He brought the personality type, that to it. And that's what it was. He was doing it for 10 years already. Right. But he brought that into it. He brought clickbait. We didn't even know it. It's like when God, made Paul. It's like when God made, the world, and then he started putting all this evil shit, and people, we started looking around, you know what I'm saying, and started doing clickbait, which was evil, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. It made stuff blow up at the same time, but at the end of the day, I think clickbait is kind of, at its all time, it's kind of bad now.
I don't even care about clickbait, like, because still click it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I click it, like, wait a minute, this wasn't about that. I don't know why I do that, but anyways, like I said, we're getting ready to. We gotta actually go. And
before we go, real quick, tell us about the Phoenix merch and what it's for. Because I saw on your
Arizona
your Arizona merch. Because I saw on your IG that you're making Arizona merch. So are you coming here? Do you have a date scheduled here, or is it just Arizona merch?
It was a big failure. I was coming out there. I came out there already. I was out there at the guest list sneaker shop, and I ended up. Hold on 1 second, man. I was coming out there and I missed it. The merch didn't make it in time, and then I failed with that. And now I'm just releasing it online.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Where did you order the burrito from?
Carolinas.
Oh, that Carolinas is bomb. You get butter tortillas?
Nah, just a regular burrito.
Oh, their butter tortillas are fire.
All right.
Yes, hello?
What?
Okay, I'm coming outside. I'm coming to the gate. You stay right there. I'm coming to the gate.
All right. Hey, we'll let you go, Tony.
All right, guys.
I appreciate it.
I'm sorry about that. Next time, we'll, if you ever want to hit me up, you already know what it is.
Already, sir.
All right, later.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Yo, we got a special guest in the building. Sneak This Podcast. We got the homie Dee Nyce of FBCC Bay Area. What's good?
Yes. What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh, of course, man. Just real quick, and I just want to say this, and I'm not just because you're on here, like, I'm a fan. I'm from the Bay Area, so I'm a fan of a lot of the stuff that you do. It's like clean, crisp, and new ideas. The backpacks, everything are always fire. Thank you. I tried to cop. Well, actually, I didn't try to cop the VV1. What happened was I seen your video where you said a few more pairs went online. And I'm not gonna lie to you. When I went to it and I saw that $3.99, I said, oop, like. I ain't got it right now.
All right, so wait. Give a little bit of background first before we get into this. Not about the situation,
I want him
but
to
about
give his background.
Okay, yeah, about like who he is, what he does, all that kind of stuff.
Tell us a little bit about you real quick.
All right, yeah. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
I only live in the Bay Area now because I was in the military. I was in the United States Coast Guard. Before I joined the Coast Guard, I owned 2 barbershops in Brooklyn and Queens, and then I gave that up. Said, let me try something different. So I had a bet with my sister. I said, if I don't make it rich by 25, I'll join the military because she had joined the Army at the same age. So I didn't want to do the Army. I found out about the Coast Guard. It was more law enforcement based. So I went that route. They shipped me after boot camp to Alameda. So I was in Alameda. I was on a ship. We call them cutters. Big ship. Fit about 180 people. Finished my 1-year tour there. Then went to training school. Became operations specialist. That's your rate. I became an E6 after a couple years. After that, I just decided, man, I got this talent in me, and I got 2 daughters, and I don't want to ever tell them, yo, chase your dream if I ain't never chased mine. So I said, you know what? I put my papers in. I said, I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna really just try to go hard with this fashion and shoot thing. So I got out of the Coast Guard in 2014, July 14, 2014. And then September of 2014, I was at the Fashion Institute for Design and Merchandising in San Francisco. I graduated this past June, opened my own luxury boutique, came out with the valedictorian shoe.
Fire.
Then the jetpack. That's just a fast forward of everything. But I've been customizing since 1997 when I graduated high school the first time. And when I went to college, I just wanted to be different from everybody else. So I said, you know what? What could I do to be different? And I ran into this kid that used to work for DJ Clue named Drew Cartier, and he had painted his Jordans. It was the 13s, and it was the red and white ones, and it was the Olympics that summer, and he had painted the blue on them. And I was like, yo, where'd you get those? He was like, no, I painted them. He showed me the paint he used, and I think that was the last time he ever painted a shoe. But after that, I was hooked. So I just started painting shoes, and then came like 1999, 2000, other people started painting. So I was like, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? Because one, people who started painting was actually super nice artists, like drawing portraits on shoes. I was like, I couldn't do that. I was good with flipping the colors. Right. So I said, I need to do something to top those people who actually had that, who could paint pictures on shoes. So I just started, I learned the cobbler trade to add fabric to shoes, to take shoes apart, stuff like that. But like I said, come 25, nothing really popped off with that. And that's what made me go to the Coast Guard and then get out. And then, we're here now where I've already dropped my first shoe. Got like 5 more designs ready to go in the sampling phase. So now this is just where I'm at with it now. I just want to continue to make luxury sneakers, bring it back to quality. Like, it's too many knit shoes. There's not enough shoes that we can just really go out with the jeans and stuff. Like, because I can't wear knit shoes to go out to like a club or a lounge or anything like that. So that was like the motivation force behind why I wanted my shoes to be high quality leather. I only use the best leathers, best suede from Italy. Right. So, that also is also the price point of my shoe. But everybody who purchased my shoe, they said I should charge more for it, because when they get it, they're like, wow, this is like real quality. And they're comparing it to their Gucci sneakers and their Louis Vuitton sneakers, and my sneakers are better quality than those. Even my backpacks, Louis Vuitton backpacks are vinyl. Vinyl is plastic. It's a synthetic. My backpack is 6 pounds empty, and it's real Italian leather, and I'm only charging $350. So when people who actually buy quality shoes and they get my stuff, they're like, wow, I can't believe these only charging this much. So they see the deal that it really is, and they're not thinking about the price. But, like if you usually just buying regular Jordans and stuff like that, like my sister's shitting on the Jordan that's $400, right, the premium.
Oh, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
And
the quality, them ain't even real leather, and they charge $400 for that. And Nike is paying like $5 to get those made.
Oh, that's
so I'm just trying to like, I listen to you guys as a podcast too. That's the funny thing on YouTube. And I notice, I see how you guys are not like the hype beast podcast. You guys are just real sneaker enthusiasts. Like, you guys really love the game. It's not just like, oh, what's hype for the moment. So that's why also I'm glad that you guys had me on the show, because that's the same way I am. I hate hype beast stuff. I just want to just like what you like, buy what you buy, and stop trying to fit into this game, because it's going so awkward now.
It's just very awkward. There's like too many leaders in the culture right now that have no business being leaders. And you're the valedictorian. We had a sneaker event out here, and Ruuben, who was the owner of Roughneck Clothing, he was actually wearing a pair out here, and I seen him in person. And I mean, the quality on them is fire. Like, I'm waiting for the Christmas drop, the reds. Like, I want the reds, and I want the black joints. Them joints are fire. And the ones
you're going to be surprised when you see the Christmas drop, because like I said, I didn't want my shoe to be more than $400. No matter how much it cost me to make it, I didn't want it to be more than $400. So the Christmas drop, you know, I know you seen it, you know, it was red and had all the python on it.
Right.
So to make that shoe, the one that you saw, to make it is going to cost double what it cost me to make it, what it cost me to make the other ones, because snakeskin, like, you got to buy the snakeskin separately, and snakeskin is expensive, and the snakeskin is only enough to do, like, one snakeskin costs like $200, and you can only do 2 pairs of shoes with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just a lot.
If you come out here,
there's a way around that to still make it better. So just the front toe box part, the suede, where the suede is at, that's going to be python, but the shoe is actually going to look better because it's going to be red leather and red tumbled leather and suede. So I'm going to play with the textures. And like the one I have now, that's my sample. And I noticed that the more I wear it, I don't like the way it looks over time. Right. And I ain't like that. So I said, let's throw the red Italian leather and the red tumbled leather on it, and then the red Italian suede, and keep it at $399, even though it still has snakeskin on it.
Can't wait. Like, I'm prepared now. Like, I'm mentally prepared to see $399. I wasn't mentally prepared to see $399 on the other one. I was like, oh, these ones got to be like $290, and I seen the $399. It just kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, I'm not ready yet. But I'm ready for them red ones.
Yeah. No, I get it too. Some people, they're like, oh, man, I can't do $399. But once they see and stuff, they're like, oh, yeah, I can see why, you know?
Yeah, because so
it'll take people time.
They're for grown men. Like, they're for grown men to wear. Like, they are fire with jeans and everything like that. And I appreciate you doing something different for the culture.
Right. So and you got to think about it. You know, people spending $800 on socks with rubber soles, you know? So I'm like, I'm giving you straight up quality Italian leather, less than what you paying resale for some Yeezys, you know?
So, you know, let's actually get right into the reason we actually...
Hold on. Social media.
Oh, what's your social medias and stuff real quick?
Yeah, and why is it private?
Oh, yeah.
You got to go...
I was about to ask the same question.
You got to go accept me so I can see all this stuff.
Wait, does that go right into the next question? Is that why?
Yes, it's actually going to help out that question. Okay, so my social media is FBCC Bay Area, and the reason that my page is private is because when I used to do customs, China used to... Like, my customs would get posted on Nice Kicks, Soul Collector, and then a month later, all the Chinese bootleg sites would have fakes of my shoes.
Gotcha.
You know, so I was like, so I stopped sending my pictures to Nice Kicks and all that. Then I made my page private. So now if somebody, you know, requests me, I look at their page. So I know, you know what I'm saying, if they look like the overseas China, you can tell the fake places that sell the fake shoes. So I just automatically block them. Right. So I know they're not looking at my pictures because my pictures are nowhere else. Then also, when you see Nike would copy your stuff too. So now even the rep at Nike follows me because most people work at Nike. You can tell they'll put like my views is not as mine and not of my employer. And then you look at their page and they only got one product and you're like, okay, this person works for Nike. You know, so that way I know who's coming. It's almost like this your house. So I want to know who's coming in there. You know, especially when you've been copycatted and stuff like that. And then with things like what John Geiger did, you know, it makes perfect sense why your page should be private. If you're really about being creative and trying to make your own brand, you want to protect that.
All right, so let's get right into that. So I was tagged, our podcast was tagged on your post a few times by some listeners that we have. Shout out to them. And watched the video, and you discussed, it's Maggie, right? He's from Russia, right?
Yeah.
So
he's from Russia,
So he had made a Bat Gang, like a Jordan 3 bottom, and the upper was original, correct?
All original.
All original. And then John Geiger came out with or came out with the 001, right?
He came out with it in 2016.
And when I saw the post and watched the videos, anybody would have to be a fool to think that he didn't replicate that original design by Maggie, period. And
exactly.
and what drove me to I wanted you to be on the shows because the whole aspect of being creative. I'm sorry, like there's a lot of things that people can do. You can make money, you can be famous, but creativity is always yours. It's always original. So it feels a certain type of way to see something that you thought of and came up with, and somebody just takes it and flips it and tries to make it their own. That sucks.
But the funny thing is that this happens in like literally every way. Like,
right.
And like, because I told you I've been listening to Joe Rogan a lot, and he was talking about I think Carlos Mencia would sit there and the opening bits would like give him his closing lines, and then he'd go out there and perform them, and the guy's like, "What the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do now?"
100% facts. And stores like Zara, all those places, they've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
You go in a store like that and find something that looks really close to a Yeezy or something like that.
Right. the funny thing though about that, like more with the analogy that makes more sense, the Carlos Mencia one, because you got to think about Carlos Mencia, he was still from like his own peers. That's like right a step next to him. Usually, like Zara is a big corporation, right? Mm-hmm. So or Nike's a big corporation. So when they steal from the little guy, it really is. It's what they do, because they're so big. You're used to it kind of, but it's just they're so big. But John Geiger's like this guy who fronts to be a customizer. Sue Surgeon does all his customs, but he gets like the credit for it. And then you stole from a customizer. So like, you're not big. He thinks that he's big is his ego is crazy. They feed into his ego, because he rolled with Darrell Reeves or however he got his claim to fame. Right. But his ego is so big that he thinks he's big. He's not Nike. His whole complaint is that Nike told him F off, so that's why he's like, too many no's, not enough O's, and all that is because Nike gave him all the no's. Like, yeah, no, you're not this creative that you think you are. We don't need you. And they let him go. And then Darrell Reeves let him go. So now he's doing his own thing, but you're like literally like, you know what I'm saying? You're like a small guy stealing from the next small guy next to you in a community that's so small that he thought he got away with it.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I gave him. This is why I went back, because I gave him credit for the shoe. Like if you go back a few posts of mine, like well, more than a few, but you go back on my page, I was like, shout out to people like John Geiger, independents who's pushing, who's trying to come out with designs that's rivaling these big companies. I was like, look at his shoe. The shoe is quality. It's $575. And then people like, that's too much. I'm like, this is why it costs that much, because people don't understand. When you make your own shoe, you got to get the mold for the sole, and that could cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000, and that's every size. So that's a size 8.
I think
a size 8.5.
I think no matter how you feel about the LeVar Ball thing, the big baller brand or whatever, I think that did a lot of good for explaining to people how expensive it is to build your own shoe.
Now I'm gonna tell you the truth about the LeVar Ball thing. See, because I'm in the manufacturing. So, okay, my shoe, I had to pay an Adidas design because I don't do sneaker sketches. So whenever you do, I do fashion sketches because that's what I went to school for. They didn't teach us shoe sketches. So I had an Adidas freelance, a guy who used to work for Adidas, he a freelance designer. He had to make a tech pack of my shoe. So I gave him the design. He had to put it on a tech pack, which is basically a sneaker blueprint. So that sneaker blueprint, it goes overseas to either Brazil, Mexico, China, and they use that as a contract, and they use that to be able to understand the language because it's in their language, of just the numbers and the metric system. So when they do all of that, then they'll make you a sample. Now, that same person hit me up. The LeVar Ball shoes, the first ones that he made, those shoes only cost him $13 each pair to make. And the new ones that he has with the big baller brand black, those shoes only cost $12 to make. So that first shoe was only $13.
We getting the knowledge, the real right now.
Yes, he only paid, and this is straight from the manufacturer. I can send you the DM from the designer and tell you how much he's paying for them shoes. So I already knew what LeVar Ball was doing, right? So it didn't cost him that much to make it. It only cost him $13 a pair to make those shoes. The shoes are all plastic, and the real story is the shoes was too heavy. That's why after one game, Alonso wasn't wearing them. They was too heavy, and then since he wasn't going to wear them because he's like, they're too heavy, they had to switch. And the way they switched was it went to Brand Black, and Brand Black gave them an existing model, let them put their logo on it. And then even that shoe, when they made it, they didn't even make it right. My buddy, Feel Good Threads, had to paint the shoe all black because for the commercial, that shoe he's wearing is painted. That's not even a real shoe because they had to rush it so fast.
Yeah, see, that's stuff that a lot of people don't know about. And we wouldn't know things like that because we're not in the business of that. All we see is LeVar Ball talking, shoe comes out, $400, $500.
Well, right, but what I was talking about was someone wrote an article about paying for the molds and the different sizes because it's something that people don't think about. So these comments here actually really enlightening as far as that goes because I was under the impression he was like $20,000 in the hole just for the design and the molds for all the sizes. I didn't know it was that cheap.
Yeah, well, LeVar Ball used an existing mold. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like that was like one of the Adidas, Kobe, one of them,
Kobe mentality or something. I told you it was that shoe.
Yep.
So that's what made them, move off of that, and the shoe was way too heavy. Like, and nobody's gonna get that shoe now.
Was it an issue with trademark or something like that? I mean, I know this is going off the topic.
Okay, so check this out. This one thing people don't know. Like soles, he could use that sole all day. As long as he didn't say that's real Boost, he can't get sued. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like if you look at Shaq's, all the Shaq shoes are copies of Jordans. Right. So, like, one of the Shaq shoes got the Jordan 3 sole. One of the FUBU shoes got the Jordan 3 sole. The sole, and, like, even, like, the whole sole and stuff, you can't sue for that unless you put the person's logo on it, like Nike, Adidas, and stuff like that. So you could actually make a sneaker and have the same exact sole as Jordan 3. You can't sell it as this is a ear unit, like whatever the way Nike calls it. Okay. As long as you don't infringe on their trademark or their patent, you can use the exact same sole. And a lot of these overseas manufacturers, they have sole factories where you just go in and say, okay, I want this sole. I want this sole. Like, if you look at most luxury sneakers, they all have a Margam cup sole. They don't have the same sole. Like, Bape was using the Nike Air Force One sole. That's a fact. Even with my shoe, people are like, oh, it's the same sole as a Balenciaga Speed Trainer. I had my sole before they even came out with their shoe, but now that they're more popular, it's the same sole. But I got it from the sole manufacturer, which it's a generic sole. And I went that route because if I would have did it the other way, my shoe would have been $700 because I had to open up all these molds. So I said I want to keep it. My whole thing was making a super luxury shoe without trying to overcharge. Like most luxury shoes you see, even more plain than mine, are $600 and they look like Stan Smiths.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Gucci's are pretty much.
Gucci's
right?
are pretty much look like Stan Smiths.
They're exactly Stan Smiths. And they're like, why is this shoe $900? It's just the name. And it's not even like it's good leather. It's the same as the Stan Smith leather.
And it's heavy and uncomfortable as well.
Exactly.
So, back to the John Geiger thing. Yeah. The main issue that I had with it, and I took... I don't want to say offense to it, is because I remember a Complex article that I read with him and how he ripped into another customizer about making their own version of the misplaced checks or whatever.
Misplaced checks.
And it was Big A. And
Big A Customs.
Big A Customs. He ripped into him about making his own version of it. Now, I have so I'm going to just read real quick for the listeners exactly what John Geiger said in that article, because the Big A kicks or whatever, Big A Custom, Big A whatever.
Well, wait, before
Big A Custom.
He gave Shoe Surgeon and John Geiger the credit for when he made his own version of the shoe, because the John Geiger version was $500 and he made a version for $200, and he said to them that he gives them credit for it and the fact that he knows that it's their idea. Now, what John Geiger said, John Geiger basically said, he said, and this is a direct quote from him. He said, this guy over here is making the same shite as me. He says, I don't even want you guys to print anything because you're just giving him attention. It's weird to give someone props and then take their design. I'd rather you just steal it and pretend like you didn't know it. His comment that he said about the Bat Gang 3 that Maggie made, basically he stole it and he's trying to ignore the fact that he stole it. He's trying to pretend that he had no idea that, not that it didn't exist, but that he had, there's no way and reason why his shoe looks exactly like it. It's not even resembles. It's the exact same shoe. It's ridiculous. And I don't like when people, you got to make sure your house is clean before you jump out the window. So when he jumped out the window on Big A, that was that was trash. So your quote and your credibility is trash after that. Now, he's more than welcome to call in and talk to us about it anytime he wants. I don't know him, and I'm not going to technically accuse him of it, but if you look at pictures, no one's stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's dumb.
Oh, no, it's not no technically accuse him of it. It's exactly what it is. It's there's no other shoe that was made that looks anything like that. So there's nothing you can say that's oh, I got my inspiration from this, or I got my inspiration. No, you stole it exactly. Even the whole point to where the collar looks like a Timberland collar, and it's got the little piece of the shoelace holder that hangs off, almost like the bag, the whole thing that it was inspired by. It's the same exact shoe. This is the thing that I hate with the sneaker community, is that people just don't say how they feel no more. Straight up, I'm yo, look, you stole it. And the same thing you just said, I said the same thing, because I know Big A. Big A is from New York too. He lives in Florida now, and he's been doing the customs and the fabric to it probably a little bit after I started. So he's been doing this since the late 90s as well. You know what I'm saying? So when he went at Big A's not no like little kid. He's not scared. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, first of all, you ain't gonna do nothing when you see me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and then John Geiger was telling him, yo, you need to make a public apology. Like, yo, come on. Like, you want him to do all of that? So now, when we address you on exactly what you just said, you printed out everything, you read exactly what he said in the article or whatever, but you did the same thing. And then you try to say it's foolish for us to say that his shoe line looks anything like a Jordan Custom. Like, foolish? Like, see, and then he gets these young little kids, they go, try to defend him. Like, what are you defending? This guy doesn't know you. What has he done for the sneaker community at all? Let's be 100% honest. Every year I do shoe drives for homeless people. I feed homeless people. Thanksgiving, Christmas, I give them clothes, give them shoes. What has he done? I give away free shoes all the time. Kids don't get to school, I buy him shoes. Like, what has he actually done for the sneaker community? Nothing. He comes in, he acts like he's this big, super celebrity when he's not. He acts like he's a super creative dude. He's not. And everybody, like, sweats him, and it builds his ego. But like you said in the beginning of this thing, like, we got people in this sneaker game who is like, people are praising them like they're leaders, and they're not really a leader at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing with where the sneaker game is going now. It's all about how many more followers you have, how much hype you have. Like, people ask me, why do you care? Why do you care? You know why I care? Because don't nobody else who has this many followers is ever going to say anything. And that's the only way to get people like him out of the game. When somebody's like, you know what? I don't care. Like, I don't care if Nice Kicks don't post my stuff. I don't care if Soul Collector. I don't care if No Sneaker Blog posts anything I do. I don't live that life. I'm from the 90s of the sneaker era, before it was social media. I'm going to get mine through word of mouth. As long as I make good quality products, I don't need no hype from no websites. I sold out the valedictorian with no websites saying, yo, he's releasing this shoe.
No hype
it's going to be limited. None of that.
It was
People
no hype.
People flew and camped out for a shoe. And it sold out in one day. And then when I did the restock, and I let people pick their size, sold out again. And this is with no hype. This is just because people genuinely like the shoe, and that's what I want. I don't want no hype. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't own no Supreme and never will. I just like stuff that I like. I don't like to look like nobody else.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like, and that's the whole purpose of, like, building your own brand and being who you are and unique in everything. Our podcast, we just got through talking to, a sneaker YouTuber, Tony D. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And
Tony D2Y, right?
Yeah. So we say exactly how we feel all the time. Like you said, there's a lot of people who don't want to say how they feel in the culture, like, a lot of times. And people with a following like you have messaged us plenty of times and said they 100% agree with us on particulars. We talk about certain people, but they can't say it because they got a brand to protect and blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
And I wanted you to come on here and get that out. Like, there's nothing wrong with calling a spade a spade. It's nothing wrong with that. Like, and the fact that it's proof, like, the pictures are insane. And I don't like when somebody goes back, like I said, that quote, him saying that, like, he'd rather, just steal it and act like he didn't know about it. That is, like, damning. Like, that's just like, ugh, like, it makes you a snake. Like,
so to take a step back real quick, because I'm not hip on Geiger. I mean, I know who he is. I know he started out as Revis's buddy or agent or manager, whatever people want to call it. But what was it called, the misplaced check? Because people freak out when you call a swoosh a check. Is it called that because Nike didn't sign off on it? Is that the whole reason behind it, or?
No, the reason why he did that, he just was like, yo, I'm a, put all of the, because everybody calls the swoosh a check.
Right.
That's just what people been calling it. So he just called it misplaced checks because he's putting extra checks on it. But now, since all of this stuff is going on and he did what he did, I got something for him. I'm gonna drop my own custom probably this weekend. It's called the rearranged swooshes. I'm gonna call it the rearranged swooshes, and it's gonna look just like his, but only I'm not going to address it. I'm just going to steal it.
And see, that's the thing too. Like you said, people get mesmerized. People get mesmerized by the fame. You see him hanging out with Wale. You see him hanging out with all these people and the following, and his clothes. You see all this stuff, and people find a reason to try to defend them and be on their side. Like like you said, he doesn't care about these people at all. Which I'm not trying to say that he should. I'm not trying to say that he does, and I'm not trying to say that he needs to be out here giving to the homeless or doing anything. I'm not going to say that. He can do whatever he feels like.
That's something you do that's in your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's not who he is. I don't expect none of that. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these cats, it's like false idols. Like, why are you defending this person? Like,
false idols. That's exactly what it is.
I love Kanye West, but I'll be the first one to tell him, like, yo, this dude is tripping. Like, yo, this shoe is ugly. Like, I'm a fan of your shoe, but if you make an ugly shoe, I don't happen to like the yellow zebras or the white zebras. I think they look childish, but I still buy whatever you make that look good.
You just made Greg sad. He got a sad face.
No, I didn't. Chill out. No, I didn't.
He got a sad face.
Because they said Greg ain't like the yellow one, so they put the gun bottom on him.
No. Greg liked it the whole time.
I liked the yellows the entire time,
which I don't know why.
Ryan hated it, and then once they put a gun bottom on it, he immediately it turned to fire emojis. It turned to flames. It turned to every single sneaker emoji on earth.
But you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
like,
I get
do
it.
that. They're like
see, that's what's
it's
missing.
It's okay to say I don't like something my favorite person did. You know,
bruh. We say that all the time. We just got through talking to Tony, and we said just because we say something we didn't like that you did, it doesn't mean we don't like you. Like, I'm sorry. Like you said, I think a lot of the clothes Kanye makes is hot garbage, but I love Kanye.
It's like homeless clothes.
But I love Kanye. I
love his music. I don't know if you love him as music. I don't know if you love him as a person. You love his music
as a person. He's a little off right now. He's a little misplaced. Check himself.
Yeah.
But he's still Kanye.
But his music, his music is music.
Music is fire. It makes a move. So just real quick, before we get off, because we're actually gonna wrap up at the studio right now. Do you rock anything other than your own brand, sneaker wise?
Yeah, like just sneaker wise. Just recently, I bought the. I haven't been buying sneakers in a while, but I just bought the Kith Pippins, the ones with the Chimeras.
Oh, okay.
So I just bought those. I just bought the LeBron 15s while I was in New York, the Ghost ones. Them things hurt. I don't know. Dude,
really?
15s was like they squeeze. I wore them to the doctor's office yesterday. I thought I was going to pass out, and I didn't have another pair of shoes in the car because the battle knit on it is so tight, and my foot I lost all the blood in my foot. So,
wow.
But I love Nike. I'm kind of tired of Adidas. Like I had loved the NMDs. The Ultra Boost has been the same exact shoe for the last 3 years.
Facts.
And everything they're doing with the NMDs now is just terrible. The R2 is terrible.
Facts.
They're making too many colors. Every weekend is not even just Adidas, Nike, everybody. There's like 20 shoes drop every weekend. It's just they're oversaturating themselves.
I don't know if I don't think the R2 Prime Knit is trash. Nah, I don't think the Prime Knit R2 is trash.
The shoe isn't trash. It's just that like every weekend when we talk about what's coming out, it's like 15 NMDs.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like, jeez. Like,
yeah, we talked about that.
And then the pattern that the lines going dash, and then they try to make stuff that look like the Yeezys, but not the Yeezys. It's like they bootlegging themselves, but it's like taking away the allure that they built up for the last 2 years.
Right.
So when you go about making a shoe, what sole are you using? Are you using a sole from a shoe that's already
He's a
made?
No, okay. So when I made my shoe, I had actually designed a whole different sole, and I had it on the sketching. And then when I went home to New York last summer, everybody in Brooklyn was wearing Huaraches. Like, and out here in California, I don't know about Arizona. You guys in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but everybody, where I live in California, nobody really wears Huaraches. It's like you see them here and there sprinkled in. But in New York, everybody was wearing Huaraches. And I was like, yo, I think the Huarache style sole will look sick on it just to bring it back together. So I hit the same designer up. I said, yo, change the sole we got and give me a Huarache style sole. So I had a whole different sole. It looked like a Huarache style sole. It was a little bit different than the sole I have now. But when it came to production, because, you get your sample, a couple months goes by. So when I went into, it was still a generic sole, but it looked like a Huarache sole, but not a Huarache sole. But when we went to go in production, they discontinued that sole and only made this sole that I have now. For my next shoes that I've already designed, the soles are completely different. They're not on any shoes, So it's just like the more money you make, now I'm going into building. So now I got like the glow in the dark sole because I really want to do for Kanye's birthday, since the shoe is inspired by him. His birthday's in June. My birthday's in June. I want to do like a honorary pack where you do like a blink colorway, a net colorway with the glow in the dark soles. So I want to do something like this and come in like a box set. I just want to do something just real creative. I'm just really trying to bring fun and you know what I'm saying, fun back to the sneaker thing. Like I'm like first come first serve, no bots, no line, you know, no raffles, none of the jump through the hula hoops. Like I'm just trying to bring it back to the old school.
You don't got to skate it out of the store, skate it out the house.
Word.
Like, so now I don't know if you're willing to tell us this, but how many pairs do you make?
Did I make up the shoe just now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the veg tan ones at the grand opening we sold 130 pairs, and then we sold 130
That's
pairs.
a lot
in that
for a
one
custom,
day.
man. You're building the shoe from the ground up, right?
Yes, from the ground up, it's all me.
Woo, that's a lot of pairs.
When I did the restock, John, we sold another 130 pairs. I could have sold more, but this first colorway, I wanted it to be, because I still have people hitting me like, yo, every day I get about 10 people DM me saying, yo, I know you said it's sold out, but do you have any in the stash that I could buy from you? So that's just a veg tan pair. So that was 260 pair right there. And you do the math, you know what I'm saying? Why should I be customizing Jordans anymore? You know what I'm saying? When I could literally in one day, like PayPal froze my account. When I started taking the pre-orders, because people was like, yo, we want the veg tans, and you only let people in the store buy it. What about people that live out of state? I said, okay, bet. I'll put it on my website. You can pick your size, and I'll make, I said I was going to do 60. I said I'll do 60 because I wanted it to be special for the people who actually flew out and came there, for that, because this is supposed to be the most limited colorway. So I did that, and I just went to the supermarket, and I looked at my phone, and it just kept going bloop, 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 and I'm looking, and by the time I had 67 orders in within an hour.
67
of the restock from my website. So I looked, and then I tried to I went to pay for my groceries at the supermarket. My card was declined, and I used my PayPal card for everything because all my all my business money goes to PayPal. And I'm like, why the hell is my card declined? I got a lot of money in my PayPal account. So I paid with my regular bank card, and then when I looked at my emails, it said PayPal said they put a restriction on my account because I had like $50,000 in like a day.
That's crazy, and that's a good.
So
story.
they made me refund everybody.
Wow! Wow!
So that's why I don't deal with PayPal with my shoes no more. So they was like, they put a restriction on my account, and now mind you, I already had $80,000 in my PayPal account before this money came in. So when this money came in, I couldn't get to my other 80. So I said, listen, I just made a shoe that organically it exploded, and this is the pre-orders. It takes 4 weeks for the shoe to get made and shipped to them. PayPal said, well, we don't allow pre-orders, and I'm like, that's BS because I did it on a backpack. I had no problem with it, but backpacks didn't make this much money, I guess. So they said, okay, the only way you're going to get the restriction off your account is if you refund everybody. So I had to refund about $50,000 in orders, right? So I sent everybody an email. I said, listen, PayPal don't allow the pre-orders or whatever like that. I opened up a whole new website. I just built the website in 10 minutes. I said, listen, you could go there, buy it. I'm going to hold your spot. Now, I'm thinking, I'm not going to get these orders back. People might be like, you know what, I'm cool.
Right.
And then it went triple. Yeah, I went triple of what I just did on PayPal. So I was like, that's PayPal. I ain't got to worry about it. Now I got a whole different website that just deals with Stripe, and money goes right into my regular bank account, and I'm good. Tough. I'm never doing pre-orders with PayPal. Like, they even put a restriction on my account. Any money that comes in, they take 10% and hold it for 90 days. Like, for what? Like, PayPal, you make too much money.
Stripe is definitely better, but they do some shady stuff, too.
They do. I agree. But it's better than PayPal if you make too much money and it frees your joint. Because they did it to me before when I invented Soul Dye. I made like $58,000 in 1 month off of my Soul Dye, and they froze my account. And I had to prove I shipped every order and all this hula hoop stuff. And I'm like, listen, I don't work for you. You work for me. You take a percentage of my sales.
Right.
For, you know what I'm saying? So all of this, I was like, I'm cool. I don't deal with them no more.
That's
but
funny.
The more of the story is, if you be creative, you do it right, and you come out with a good product. You don't have to work for Nike. You don't have to work for Under Armour, because I used to work for Under Armour as an independent contractor. But like, I don't want to be a boss. I mean, I don't want to have a boss. I want to be a boss.
Right.
Like, I don't want to have to check in the work. I did 11 years in the military, and before that, I was my own boss. So the only real job I ever had was being in the military. So now it's just like, continue to keep making great quality stuff, being original, not a Geiger, and basically just either the sky's the limit. But like somebody said, he has connections. He's going to get you blackballed. I said, if you think I care about being blackballed, then you got me twisted. Like, I don't even care if you post my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
We get that all the
like
time.
Like they say, good dope sell itself.
That's a fact too. We get that all the time too. Like the stuff that we say, people like, oh, sponsors, people won't mess with you, blah blah blah. I don't care, man. This is my creative platform.
And I tell y'all, keep doing exactly what y'all doing. You know what? Even if y'all ain't got all of the extra subscribers on your YouTube that all these, all these other dudes got, but y'all got something that's genuine, it's organic, it's authentic. I just listened to like 3 of y'all podcasts. I had watched your podcast before I even knew who y'all were. Because I think I watched the one with Corgi Shoe. Did y'all do one with him?
Well, he hasn't been on yet, though. But we have one with Teddy.
No, one of the ones I was talking about. Y'all was talking about Corgi and talking about him and somebody else. Yeah, y'all was talking about the heat exchange, and there's some. I watched a couple of them, but I watched one before, and then when Beto was telling me about y'all, I was like, oh, they look familiar now because I remember watching it on the YouTube. But y'all got something that's real dope. It's organic. Like all the other stuff, it's just the same. It's like, ooh, it's like they're promoting it's like they're working for Nike or Adidas. They're like, ooh, look, let's talk about boots only. Let's talk about this only. Like, y'all really got something authentic, and I feel it because, I know when I see something fake. Like, I know the corny stuff as soon as I see it. I'm from Brooklyn. I was raised around a lot of stuff, and when I watch y'all stuff, it just feels real. It's genuine. So, like I said, no matter what they say, keep doing what y'all doing because y'all got something. Sooner or later, people gonna find out about it, and it's gonna grow naturally. But y'all do got something dope.
We did have Premium Pete on one of the shows. So if you're interested in cats from New York, go back and listen to that one.
To the Premium Pete one?
Yeah,
we had Pete on the show.
So we appreciate you coming on. Like we said, we appreciate you being a creative. We appreciate you doing something different. I appreciate you being in the Bay Area. I didn't know you were from New York, which is crazy. Yeah. And I appreciate you coming on our show and just giving us the time. Like, you didn't have to do this, and you didn't have to wait for us to call you. And we definitely appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing. And, we know Geiger out here living funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
funny style.
That's between him and everybody. That's between him and everybody who worships him. And like we said, if Geiger ever wants to have a conversation, because I know you're willing to have a conversation with him,
he's not.
He's not, because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to get trapped.
He knows he's caught. Like, you can't get caught and be like, what's he gonna say? He's gonna be sounding like Trump. Some alternative facts.
Them alternative facts and fake news. So, but we appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely be in contact. And everything should be posted up in the morning. So we appreciate you coming and.
And maybe have him on another episode down the road when a new shoe is coming out or something that we got. Oh yeah,
definitely. We definitely want to have you on again when something's going to come out again.
Yep.
Definitely, I appreciate it.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all stay up.
Be easy too.
Peace.
And with that,
I was gonna say
episode 82 brought to you by.
I was gonna say don't end the show yet.
Brought to you by Jason Witten.
I was gonna say at least say the 82s.
Jason Witten.
What else? We didn't.
That was from a listener on my IG.
I have no idea.
People look for that every day to figure out who we're going to talk about.
I know there's more, but I just can't think.
John Stallworth.
Don't know who it is.
Okay.
Hockey player. What does he do?
Come on, Ryan.
Who was the? Who was the? Who was John Taylor? Was John Taylor 82?
And that's a sneak diss.
The other receiver who was there with Jerry Rice. What number was he? 82.
Show's over.
People got to remember who John Taylor is.
Show's over.
I know John Taylor.
I ended the show.
Show's over.
Okay, is this it?
Sneak diss.
Bow. This dude wasn't even.